Mr. Dreyer, how long have you been with the service?
I've been with the service for just about a month.
Just about a month, okay. Is there a significant problem with illegal, that is, I guess, smuggling, illegal transfer of ivory into the United States?
Yes.
Okay. In a statement by your service, September 2012, fact sheet indicating, quote, "We do not believe that there is a significant illegal ivory trade into this country," end quote. Can you explain?
I think we've had, since that time, substantial law enforcement evidence of illegal activity coming into the country. And let me add, by the way, Mr. Chairman, that I came to the service from a position as the Acting Assistant Attorney General for the Environment and Natural Resources for the Department of Justice. And the Department of Justice, of course, prosecutes these criminals.
Right, but to save time here, instead of going through your resume, the point is, what significant thing has occurred, what disaster has occurred in the last 2 years?
Well, first, the disaster, I think, is the mounting awareness of the crisis in the killing of elephants in Africa. What we are seeing in terms of law enforcement, Mr. Chairman, I don't intend to be evasive, in law enforcement, we are seeing mounting evidence in our law enforcement operations of substantial illegal importing of ivory into this country.
Okay. Now, last month, this is from the Federal Register, quote, this is last month. "We do not believe it is necessary for ensuring the conservation and sustainable use of the species to retroactively apply current import-export restrictions to domestic activities involving specimens that were legally imported prior to the imposition of those restrictions." So again, 2012, there wasn't a problem. In fact, I heard the active ranking member mention that the United States is the second most illegally transferred nation. Well, in fact, CITES says in 2014, it's not among the top 8. In fact, it's not even listed at all. So why is it that all of a sudden, after years of things being fine in terms of not what's happening in those countries in Africa, but what's happening here, the illegal importation of ivory, 2012, 2013, 2014, no problems. All of a sudden, you're here a month and you say there are huge problems. What has happened in the last month?
Well, let me again say that I've been responsible for prosecuting these criminals for much longer than a month when in my role at the Justice Department. But in answer to your question about what's changed in our perspective, first, the United States as a government has recognized the importance of taking all steps possible to
again, sir, you're not answering my question. My question is, what's changed in recent history? What is new? Has the crime rate tripled, quadrupled? What's happened here? Have your prosecutions, and we will check this, have your prosecutions increased? Have you sent many more, scores of more people to prison as a result? What is different?
Well, as I explained, I think our law enforcement operations are in fact detecting the illegal import of African ivory.
You think it is?
Substantial.
No, I don't. It doesn't matter what you think. I want to know what is documented. What is documented that has happened in the last 2 years to make Fisheries and Wildlife to say one thing in 2012 that there is no significant problem, and you all of a sudden you're here online for a month and you say there is a significant problem. What has happened? Tell me what is different.
The evidence we have seen from our law enforcement operations, which includes, for example, the prosecution and
but what is
incarceration.
I know you're saying that, but what is the evidence?
A ton of illegally imported ivory disguised to look like antiques, seized in a case that we have just discussed before you.
One case.
2 tons of illegally imported ivory seized at JFK Airport in 2012. These are not the only law enforcement operations that have shown evidence of illegal import of disguised ivory into this country. Our law enforcement officials believe that this is a significant problem, and we are doing everything we can to address it.
So as a result of 1 or 2 cases of significant, substantial amounts that you claim today, we haven't seen the evidence of it, documentation of it, you're saying that we should now deem all owners of ivory, perhaps owning it for generations in their families, that it no longer has no value, cannot be transferred to someone else, and that the burden is on that individual to prove that it's legal ivory, which is impossible in most cases, because of something that happened in the last year or so?
If I may remind you, sir, the policy of the United States expressed in the Endangered Species Act generally is that trade in endangered species is prohibited. And there are exceptions to that. We have a special rule for African elephants. The special rule was adopted many years ago when it was not as obvious as it is today.
I'm out of time. Again, you're not coming forward with any real information.